Hey, buddy. Do you remember when you were around 10? Oh, gosh, you might have been younger, but I think about 10. I did an interview with you about what it's like to have an autistic brother. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? I've had like a bunch of people say it would be really interesting to do that interview with you again. See how, because when you're 10, you think differently to when and you have grown and changed significantly since that time. What? You have. So what's it like to have an autistic brother?
It's like a normal life, but you've got things to consider, things to see that you need to not take care of, but like take into consideration. So it's not a life-changing thing. You've still got a brother, you've still got a life, but you need to...
It is. I think you were doing really well with the things that you just consider. Yeah, I think you're doing really well along that sort of thought process. And help. Okay. So what sort of things, for example, might it be easier if we...
Like going out with him and eating lunch somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those who don't understand what that means, why would eating lunch be something you need to consider?
Because he doesn't eat everything there.
Yeah. Okay. So when you say consider, in some ways you mean plan. Sort of. And what about at home? Is there things you need to consider where you don't need to plan?
Yeah. Just sitting around the house when you're not doing anything.
What do you need to consider?
Well, it depends if you're a parent or a brother.
I'm asking as a brother. Okay. I said, what's it like to have a brother? Don't be his parent. You don't have to consider what I consider. You're not you're his brother.
You need to consider that he might be doing running around. He might be doing every now and then. So there's going to be some noise.
How does that affect? What is it you take into consideration that...
It's not always going to be a quiet household.
Okay, yeah, sure. And is that a problem?
Not always.
Sometimes?
But sometimes you just want to be in a little box that's quiet.
You do live with me.
Yeah. And I live with myself as well.
True. We all have little quirky bits and pieces. You just have a fetish for boxes and polystyrene. Bo has his thing for running. Okay, so life is pretty normal, but you have to take things into consideration. What do you think is the biggest thing that impacts you?
Bringing friends over.
Are you worried about you, them, or Bo? What does that mean, bringing?
Both. All.
What do you worry about?
Them seeing him and thinking, I don't want to come over as much now. I see that there's something that I can't do. And Bo
Something that I can't do? What do you mean?
Just like random things.
You mean when you say your friends see Bo and say there's something I can't do?
No, I never said that.
No, they see that. I'm trying to understand.
If you were to bring friends home and they were to think, I don't want to come over as much because there's someone here with special needs. And they don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
And for Bo, it's like he's nervous around new people, so he's not always going to be wanting to be sticking around. And for me, I'm worried about my friends looking at me and being like, oh, he's the kid that has a brother with autism.
That's really, really interesting. I'd really love to dive into each of those. So, firstly, I'm going to start in order with the friends. Has that ever happened or said, or it's just something that's in the back of your mind?
It's just something that's always in the back of my mind. Like, I guess fear of being judged.
You judged or
Both.
him judged?
Both.
So you want to sort of protect him from being judged?
Mm-hmm.
And what about you? You want to protect yourself from being judged?
Mm-hmm.
Of the friends that have come over, that we have seen, is this more new people that you don't know yet that could be, or is this people, or are you already
I never
worried?
said I had friends like this.
No, that's right. I'm asking, when you said it's tough because of friends and this is the way you feel, I'm trying to work out if this is you feeling that from the friends or potential friends. Like new people. Like, for example, we had a Halloween party here. How did that go?
Doing really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people did we have?
5.
5. And of those 5 people, what did you feel comfortable with Bo and them being? You did? Were you worried about the way they might?
Some of them.
Yeah?
Because they hadn't been over yet and they haven't met Bo.
What happens when they do meet Bo?
Well, they turn into my other friends, like, that love Bo.
So, your experience so far is that when they do meet Bo, they actually turn into Bo fans, yet still you're worried for yourself. It's interesting, isn't it? You still feel that concern. Okay. What about from the other part? You said you're worried for your friends and you're worried for Bo. What are you worried for Bo?
Like, if he's not comfortable with having new people around, and he's shy, so that's bound to happen when he meets new people. But when someone new comes over, they go up to him and like say hi, and he's just shy. So.
And he's got a stock standard answer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What does he say?
Hi, I'm Bo. Just so you know, I'm shy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You did actually do something recently where you brought a kid home that I'd never met or seen. Was that on your mind when you were, because you still brought him home? Was that on your mind? Were you worried, or did you think that because of that person's particular nature, they might be more understanding?
That friend wasn't per se the closest with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was more a mutual friend.
Which is what's even more interesting, because to open up your home life and expose your personal life to someone who isn't a close friend, I would have thought would have been more difficult, because you're more likely to come under judgment, whereas most of your friends already know. It's interesting. Right. Tell me about you. How does it impact? How do you...
What about
You're protective of you, you said. You're protective of your friends, you're protective of Bo, and you're protective of you. Protective from what of you?
Judgment and don't know the word for it.
Explain the action or feeling, because I think I know exactly the word, but if you can explain judgment and...
So when I was, say, to bring someone home and they were to dislike Bo and then dislike me.
Okay, like a flow-on effect. So judgment and persecution would be sort of... So you think that people could potentially end a friendship with you because of them thinking your brother is...
Maybe, yeah.
How many of your friends have siblings?
Lots.
Yeah. How many of your friends have siblings they like? You can do a percentage, say.
Are we talking deep down they love them, or are they
No.
playful?
Bitch and moan and... Yeah, like I hear a lot, specifically from one person, about how much they hate their brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change your... Like, if you were going to go over, would that change your perception of your friendship with them when they talk about their brothers, and say that, you know, younger or older, they, you know, the usual family stuff, lie, blah blah blah. Does that change how you feel about the person? Why do you think they would change their perception of you based on your brother if you wouldn't change your perception of them, when their brothers are perfectly normal? They're just dicks.
Because I think when they come over, it's either a shock, because
Really?
either I haven't told them, or they don't know either how bad or how not bad the autism is.
There's no real understanding. It's just a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had a really good explanation just then, and now I've lost it. I've forgotten it.
Okay.
It was in my head. I had it. It was really good. I've lost it.
That's fine. So now you're at a different campus. from your brother. So now you can kind of, I guess, avoid, whereas before you couldn't really avoid that whole, you know, there was Bo in everybody's face doing his running at school. But now, is your friendship circle growing? Do you find that there's more people coming in and so they don't know and they haven't seen? Is there an embarrassment, do you reckon, level? No?
And if there is, it's like sneaking him out.
How do you feel about your brother?
No, I love him.
Well, just before you said to me, what, are we talking deep down love or are we talking? So I'm asking, I know you love him. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, he's like my friend. I can always go to him and we have fun together. We play and we are brothers.
Yeah.
I don't have a part where I think in a playful way that he's dirt.
Dirt, yeah, no.
I don't have that. I just see him as a brother or a friend. And we...
What do you see for, like, is there anything, what about, forget friends, let's talk about just at home. You know, like you said, you got to take into consideration your brother. Is there anything that you sort of at home, you know, used to be years ago that the considerations you had to take was who was going to win on video games and you'd be taking turns. How's that changed?
Well, I have my own room now, so that's a big thing that's changed.
Better?
Probably. Yeah.
Miss anything about? Do you think it's changed your relationship with Bo?
No.
No?
No.
Because I don't see you guys, like, Bo was quite concerned about you moving out of your room because you guys wouldn't have that laughing thing and talking before bed, and you guys sort of don't have that as much anymore. Do you feel like you still are connecting with him and hanging out? Do you still feel the want to connect and hang out? So what do you need to take into consideration at home? What impacts your life just here without friends?
He's still your brother, so take care of him still. Doesn't matter if he's older or younger. You take care of your brother. And it's a hard question.
Yeah, it is. So what wouldn't people know about having someone with autism at home? For example, if you're downstairs and you want to watch TV and Bo's downstairs, immediately what comes to your head?
He's probably going to grab his wireless noise-cancelling headphones and not want to hear the movie.
Not want to hear it, which means you have to take into consideration what?
He's not going to want to be around the movie.
Does that impact on you?
Sometimes.
How?
When I have friends over.
Okay, we're not talking about friends now. But so basically, you know that he has noise sensitivities, especially to things like movies. So does that impact you on what you do and don't watch? Does that impact you on how loud or whatever, does it change how you would live your life otherwise?
I would never know if my life would be different.
Yes, you would. How does it feel when he's not at home?
The same.
There you go. So when you go downstairs, if you went downstairs now,
Yeah.
is it exactly the same as if he was here?
No, because
Okay.
he's running.
Okay. So what would be the difference? So he'd be downstairs running. What would be the difference when you go downstairs?
Well, it depends what I'm going to do.
Mm. What do you have to consider? What is different? It's okay.
No, it's just the same question. And
Okay, in a different format.
yeah.
Fair enough. All right. What do you see for the future? For you and for Beau and for you separately? Do you think you guys will always be connected?
Hopefully. I don't know really where my life is going to go, but and I don't know where Beau's is going to go. But I'd hope to stay connected with him.
Do you worry about his future at all?
Yeah.
You do? What do you worry?
Like, where he's going to be. Like, what. And in terms of when I say where he's going to be, is he, like, either one still here, or is he in his own house, or has he got his own job, or like where's he gonna be? That's
If he's still here, or if he has his own place, does one concern you more than the other? Are you worried?
Yes.
Which one?
When he's alone, because sometimes he needs help with things, and if we're not there to help him, he could just combust. And
you don't think that his first reflex would be to text one of us and say, I need help with something?
I don't know.
So you'd feel more comfortable if he was still here, and you'd feel like the load was lighter knowing that he always had someone.
Yeah, because also then again, parents don't live forever. And when you guys go, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where he's going to be, or if he's self-sustainable or independent.
Do you think he'll get married?
Hopefully.
Then don't you think that would be their life to sort out?
Yes and no.
Do you feel like it would be yours?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he'll get a job?
Yeah.
I do. I think he'll get a job well before he ever moves out. If you could close your eyes and see the perfect future for him, like if you could close your eyes and say, I reckon this is, in 10 years' time, Beau will be this, what would it be?
Forensic scientist.
No, I meant like not what he's worked. Like Beau will be have a job, be living in a place, have a girlfriend or a partner, like that kind of thing. What would it be?
Exactly
what I just said. I was trying to avoid that, but you said forensic scientist, so I couldn't. It's going to be a long time before Dad or I cark it. Well, certainly me anyway. It's going to be a long time. Things have really changed the last few years, haven't they, for you, emotionally and mentally, in regards to your brother? Do you think? Or do you think you're exactly the same?
I don't know. I haven't really looked back.
I think things have really changed. I think now you are aware of a much bigger, wider picture. Before, when we did this interview, you weren't, you sort of, because you were so young and because you really were so attached to your brother and so dedicated to your brother, there were no friends and external people to worry about or think about. Does that make sense? Whereas now, there's a much, much bigger picture going on here, which is great. It shows that you're growing and learning and considering things. So do you foresee a time that you might need him just as much as, like, can you see yourself relying on him for anything?
Well, unless I end up on the streets.
He'd be good for a loan. What about this? Do you think that Beau's actually more set up to run an independent life than you are? Because it would be, he will have a very stable job, very good income, and a very good routine, and have everything set out perfectly, where he will absolutely have enough rent, absolutely have enough to pay the bills, absolutely, because everything will be 100% spreadsheet divvied up. Have you ever thought that he could actually be set up more perfectly? You have? But you still worry. Fair enough. Interesting, buddy. Very, very interesting. I reckon we check back in another 5 years and see what's going on. Very, very interesting. ASD rocks, dude. Yeah, anyone would think he'd just woken up. It's like, and then it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Basically is.
It's like, are you for real? What time did you get up this morning? It's 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
I've only been up 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. You've been awake for 2 hours. You're like, do you need a nap? All right, dude. Love you.